Hello everyone, I hope you've had a marvelous day. It is supper time in our house. Everybody's starting to browse through the cupboards, so figured I better get my supper made. So tonight we are doing low carb pizza. That's right, you heard that right. You can have pizza and eat it all too and still achieve your goals that you're wanting to achieve when it comes to managing your weight and your health. So great recipe. We eat this one pretty regularly. We're big pizza fans in our house, and this one is awesome because we're using egg and cream cheese and cheese to create our crust. And crazy enough, the crust really does come out bread-like on the bottom with the combination of cheese that you put on the bottom of the pan. So you want to preheat your oven for 350, and now we're going to use a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can use a hand mixer to create the crust here. And so in the food processor, we're going to dump 1/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. Get all that goodness out of there. And then we're going to do 4 whole eggs. And we're going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese. Again, try to soften your cream cheese for a little bit of time just so that it doesn't clump up when you're blending it. This food processor is pretty heavy duty. It kind of knocks the snot out of all of the food in here, so I don't worry about it so much when I'm using the food processor, but when I'm doing a hand mixer, it does tend to clump. So, but I have laid this out for at least a half hour. So 4 ounces of cream cheese. And then we're gonna put our lid on. Make sure it's good and tight, and we're going to blend this until it's mixed through. Pardon the loud noise. Now we're going to stop it, and I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, some Italian seasoning blend, and some minced garlic for flavoring of the crust. Take this off, and in goes the 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, some Italian seasoning. You can be as liberal or as sparse with that as you'd like, depending on how much flavor you want, and then 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic. Now, if you don't have minced garlic on here, you can use powdered garlic, you can use clove garlic. That 1/2 teaspoon is probably the equivalent of 1 clove of crushed garlic if you have fresh garlic on hand. Now we're going to put the lid back on, and we're going to continue to blend this until it's all incorporated and all mixed. Incorporated. We're going to open this up, and we are going to add that to our baking pan. But first we have to put the breading on the bottom of the pan. So I've already greased this 9x13 baking pan with some olive oil spray. And now to that, we are going to spread 1 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. You can use Asiago cheese, and you can use Romano cheese, whatever you want. I had a Parmesan shreds on hand, so we're going to use Parmesan. So we're just going to spread this out over the bottom of the pan. And then 1 cup of mozzarella cheese on the bottom of the pan. And we're going to kind of mix this around and create the breading, if you will, on the pan. So when the cheese is baking in the oven, it creates a thick layer and it gets crispy and crusty. You know, like when you're grilling in the summer and some of the cheese melts off the burger onto the grill, how it gets brown and crispy and crusty, but it tastes amazing because it's all nice and crisp. That's what's gonna happen to the Parmesan and mozzarella cheese on the bottom of this pan. You want to make sure that the pan is evenly covered, that you don't have a whole lot of holes on the bottom of this pan, or that you're seeing a lot of the bottom of the pan, so that the egg mixture doesn't kind of seep through, if you will, and it will all knit together and create your crust. So we got the cheese all spread out there, and now I'm going to take my egg mixture off of the processor. Hang on to the blade if your blade is detachable, because you don't want that spilling out all over things and cutting yourself. And now we're just going to pour the egg mixture all over the top of the cheese. And that's going to fill itself in, fill all the gaps in, and it's going to create our crust. I am just going to take the back of my little measuring spoon here and use that as a spatula. And as you can see here, all of the egg mixture has intertwined with the cheese on the bottom of the pan. It smells incredible. The garlic and the Italian seasoning smells amazing. So this is all prepared, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it into my preheated oven for 30 minutes. You're going to let this crust bake, and then you're going to take it out, add the pizza sauce and the toppings. We'll bring you back for that moment. See you in a few. All right, so we just took our crust out of the oven. It looks and smells incredible. This is what it looks like here. Now you might notice there's a little bobble right there. While it was cooking, it did bubble up a little bit, created a little bit of bubble. And just like take and bake pizza, Papa Murphy's, how they tell you to poke the bubble while it's cooking in the oven, you want to do the same thing. And I did do that. I did take a knife and I poked the bubble in there. It didn't come down until we took it out of the oven, but nice golden, totally set up, smells amazing, smells like garlic bread. And now it's time to add our toppings. And so I'm going to add some pizza sauce. Now the recipe that inspired me to make this recipe says 1/4 of a cup. Well, that is about 1/4 of a cup, and you can see how far that's gonna go. Not gonna go very far. So I'm going to add more because I'm a little saucy and a little sassy, and I like to have a little extra sauce going my way here. And we'll just spread this out nicely. Wow, this pizza sauce going down on the top of this warm crust smells amazing. You know, when you follow a lower carb way of eating, a lot of times patients will tell me they miss their favorite foods. They miss pizza, they miss, you know, tacos. Tacos for some reason have this negative connotation that it is not a healthy food. I quite disagree. I eat tacos or a taco-like type of meal at least once a week. Tacos are one of my absolute favorite foods. You just have to tweak it up so that it works for you. And as I'm demonstrating to you tonight, we're taking pizza and it has got all of the same components of what you would think of pizza. We've got crust, we've got sauce, and we have our toppings. So you can eat in a lower carb way and achieve your goals. Do the foods taste the same as what you would normally think about or what you grew up with? No, a lot of them don't, especially when you're following or buying like lower carb breads. That's probably one of the biggest ones where people kind of like, it's really dry, or oh, it's really fibery. And I get that. I totally understand that. But there are other options out there in the world. It's just knowing where to find them. And that's what our role is at the Wellness District and at Strongport, is to guide you along on this journey and making better choices for yourself. And this is part of the reason why I want to do these videos for you all too, is so that you can see that you can still eat really, really healthy and have your favorite foods all at the same time. So we've got our pizza sauce down. And now we're gonna add our toppings. We're a meat lovers type of family. I am going to reserve a small corner of the pan for cheese only, because I got one kiddo that is a cheese only kiddo. But otherwise, the rest of the fam is totally okay with as much meat as possible. So I'm putting down about another cup of mozzarella. And because we're a cheesy family here too, I'm going to also add a little bit of 5 blend cheese that I used last week, I believe, in my chicken Alfredo dish as a recipe, because we just like to have things nice and cheesy here. This was a request from my husband / cameraman / producer / sous chef / taste tester. He's got lots of titles here. So he's a big pizza fan, and so I thought we'd make this for him today, because he's been helping me out a lot with all of this the last couple of weeks. So we got our cheese down, and now I'm going to put down, I have some turkey sausage with bacon crumbles. I'm just gonna spread that out across the bottom. You can top your pizza however you would like. If you are more of a veggie lover and you want to keep this more vegetarian, you certainly can by just putting down peppers and onions and mushroom. If you like Hawaiian pizza, you could put pineapple and ham down onto it if you want. Whatever you would normally want on a regular pizza, you can do that on this pizza, because guess what? It's regular pizza. And now we're just gonna put our pepperonis down. I'm gonna clear out the meat on this one corner here, just because I said that I was going to leave it cheesy for Alex. And then once we get this all assembled, we are going to put it back into the oven. So once you take it out of the oven, you immediately want to put your oven to the broiler setting and turn the heat up, because the crust obviously doesn't need to be cooked anymore, and we're now just going to be browning the cheese and kind of warming up the toppings and the sauce. And so you certainly can turn up the heat by turning it to the broiler setting, and you're just going to set it under there for about 5 minutes, or until everything is golden brown and bubbly, like your normal pizza would be, and then take it on out. So there we have it. We have our pizza all set up, and I'm just going to add a little bit more Italian seasoning for a little extra dash of fun flavor here. And we're going to put it back into the oven for about 5 minutes under the broiler setting, and then we'll take a picture of it for you. I hope you love this. The crust by itself, I want to give you the right stats here. Just the crust by itself is 3 grams of net carb and 15 grams of protein. That does not include the toppings. But if you think about a regular pizza, a slice of pizza is 25 grams on average, sometimes more. And so we are starting out with a base of 3 grams of carbohydrate. This whole pan makes 8 servings. So this whole pan of crust is 24 grams. That's 1 slice of regular pizza. And then now, yes, we did add the topping, and I did use a lower carb pizza sauce with it. And so for 1 slice of our pizza tonight, it's 5 grams of net carb, and then depending on what toppings you use, that's going to add to the protein content. But I would assume our protein content is going to be closer to about 20 grams per slice and 5 grams of carbohydrate. So pretty incredible, right? Where a regular 8-slice pizza is going to be 200 grams of total carb, this is 24. That is incredible, and that is your sweet deal for tonight. Have a good one, guys.